Hi, new room, same place, just a little bit different in terms of like every aspect of it. So I got dual setup. Now I've got another desk over here. I do have my likey head accessible with me now. It's like right over here. So got my little likey. Alright guys, welcome to this episode. And in this episode, we will be talking about my two setups. My on-the-go and my other setup that's in this room. Let's get into it. I want to mention quickly, the second episode will be released next week. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, we'll get right into it in terms of my overall setup. So starting off with my triple monitor setup, I do actually have a triple monitor setup because I actually used to use all three monitors, but I don't as much anymore. So this main monitor is in case, I guess, if these monitors fail or I need a backup or something happens to these two monitors. But I used to use these three monitors for my live stream, editing, and the other workflows. These two monitors are very, very nice. They are in the higher end territory of more expensive monitors, but they are OLED. They have all the nice color grading features, and they have one cool feature: a remote. So this allows me to turn them on and off simultaneously, and I actually have both remotes connected because each one came with separate remotes, so they both work. And so if something happens in one remote, I have a backup because they can synchronize. But you only need one remote to synchronize all of your monitors of the same brand. Moving on with the keyboard. So this is the Corsair Vanguard. I can give you guys a specific model. I recently just cleaned this today because I spilled something on this keyboard like a few days ago. Well, my mom did. So, and I had to clean it. The plus button does work. Look at look at this side plus button. Look at it. But it does still function, so it's still usable. It is USB Type-C cable detachable. I do want to get a wireless one eventually, just not right now. Moving on to the mouse, I've had this mouse, the Logitech G900, for years. This was actually my first professional mouse. Speaking of mouses, decided to get Logitech G903. There's virtually no difference other than it uses the same type of connection as this one. It's more of a backup in case something does happen to this mouse, so I have a backup. Newer, better model, has higher DPI, not that anyone ever uses DPI past like 8,000 unless you're talking about like high intense gaming, but even then, that much DPI that goes like 30,000 is unusable. Talking about my backup storage that is on the go, this is my fastest storage I own from SanDisk. Now, as you guys know what the RAM price is, and this is when I do like 4K editing and high video files. And I also have a thumb drive. Now this thumb drive is not as fast as my SSD SanDisk, but it does do 4K editing, no problem. It is highly recommended, and it does do really, really high transfer speed, so I can edit on this if I need to. I always have this with me because this is the one drive that has like all my passwords, all my other files, all my backup information for my software files, all my usernames, everything. So this is my like treasure. Moving on to my one dumb expenditure that I thought I would need, but turns out I don't use it as much. I got this ProGrade, and what this is a SD reader. Now this in theory reads up to 1,000 megabytes a second, which is great, but there's no cards that do 1,000 megabytes a second in the first place. And this goes all the way up to UHS-2, which by default, this only goes up to UHS-2, which by default doesn't do 1,000 megabytes a second. Now they do have newer cards that do up to like 800, but yeah, my DJI can't even utilize that, so I don't get it. I did get an SD card that does up to 312 megabytes a second, which is nice. I'll take that. So, but I just don't use it. This got replaced with my docking station because my docking station does over 250 megabytes a second in transfer speeds on SD cards. This is my pride and treasure Cal Digital Tech. Now, this is an older model. It does everything that I needed to. Because also my computer is from 2022, so I didn't need to buy the newest and latest one. But this has everything: Thunderbolt 4.0, Thunderbolt 4, DisplayPort, whole bunch of USB Type C's. So this was a really worth investment, and I only paid for like $350 because this was on sale when I got it. This was originally like $500 thing, and considering what it can all do, it's very much well worth the price. Wouldn't obviously now I would wait until it's on sale because they released a newer version, this one. And unless you have a computer that supports those features, there really is no point in buying those newer versions. I would actually stick with this one because I just don't need the fastest transfer speeds for file transferring. These do well beyond what I need, and it even works up to with my SD